Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 20th greatest move in chess history. We are looking at a game from 2005 played between R. Antonio and T Dao. In this position, or in this game, White is going to uncork an amazing move in a relatively short amount of time. This, so far, is pretty bookish type opening. Nothing too interesting or exciting. You can see the evaluation bars basically even. White sticks his queen on h6. That looks very dangerous. Black is going to go try to dislodge that queen, but makes a fatal mistake when he does so. Bishop to g7. You can see the evaluation bar likes that very, very much, or the computer, the analysis, whatever, likes that very much. So this is the key position. What does White do to take advantage? I'll give you a second or a minute or 20 minutes or however long you need to look at it and figure it out. The key things to note are obviously this queen has several squares she can attack. This rook can get involved in the game very quickly, and the knight on d4 and the knight on c3 are simply in the way of this very nice bishop diagonal b2 to g7. So, given all those cool arrows and all the options, we're going to look to see what White figures out in this position. So, in this position, White does the amazing queen takes on g7. And while that, the amazing part about that move, in my opinion, is that if I was actually playing in this game, I would never be able to make that move. If you're looking at it and you've analyzed it and you've figured it out and you're like, yes, okay, I see it, that's one thing. But to make a move like that in a game, it's just ridiculous. So we'll look at how the game continued. It doesn't continue long because after king takes on g7, White simply goes knight to d5 and black resigns because he sees the inevitable. So we'll look at the inevitable and see why he resigns. He resigns because something that a normal person might want to do in this situation is save the queen. So let's say that black does in fact try to save the queen by going queen to c8. You see that turns into a mate in 2. And that's because of the discovered check that's about to show up. And White takes advantage of the discovered check by going where? By going simple, very easy knight to f5, because anytime you do a discovered check, it's powerful. But anytime you do a double check, then the king has to move. And so then you can make all sorts of interesting moves after that. The king obviously cannot stay on this diagonal. He's got to go. And this knight very nicely cuts off the h6 square, giving the king one option. So then he takes the only option, and then mate in 1. Hopefully we all see that. Knight to h6, checkmate. So that's what happens if black attempts to save the queen. The only other way to not get mated in 2 is to block this discovered check. You could do that with the pawn. And then you see that it's 5.3 because then the queen just falls, right? The other idea is you could block with the knight temporarily. Same idea. I'm going to take the queen, and then now I'm, there's still all sorts of threats because, yeah, it's over. I mean, black could go here, right, to try to get out of there. And then what? I'm gonna fork you? I don't know. There's just so many options here. Could you even go back? Could you check them there? Could you go there? Yeah, you could go there. If knight moved out of the way, let's say the knight, I don't know. Let's just say the knight goes here to attack this knight. Then you can take, and then it's back to the mate in 2 we saw before. So one way or the other, White was going to come crashing in after the sacrifice of the queen. So very, very nice. I like that one. This was our 20th greatest moves, as we're still in our series of the 50 greatest moves of all time. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching.